Hey, it's Tim. Welcome to Focus Friday. So today I want to talk about something that is actually hard to grasp, but we all pay lip service to it in some respect or another, and it's intentionality. So often when you're starting an agency or you're transitioning through a growth period, or if you are up against it, you just do stuff. You do whatever comes to your mind. You flail about and you try everything. And sometimes that's a great way to get yourself out of a funk. But if you're trying to build something sustainable, something that can grow, you have to temper those I want to do whatever impulses with intentionality. So even if you're going to try a bunch of things, so let's imagine you are going to try doing some Facebook ads and you're going to do some paid search and you're going to do a bunch of webinars, right? That's cool. But you have to sort of be thinking about those things as a means to an end. And not the end, of course, the outcome is you want to get clients, but you want to be thinking about how you are getting those clients. So if you're doing some Facebook ads and you're doing some paid search ads, maybe we want to be intentional about the message that we are pushing on and put them into a webinar or a landing page that has an evocative message that connects to those ads. Because what often happens is we tend to optimize things in a silo. We optimize things without really thinking about how they impact the whole. We go ahead and do things without really thinking about how they impact the whole. And this really is sort of, this goes throughout every part of your agency from business development. Are you just getting the clients you can, or are you trying to get a particular kind of client? My Audible mentor, Jim Rohn, says, if you don't have a plan for yourself, someone else has got a plan for you, and you're not going to like it. And that's sort of true with your agency too. So if you don't have a direction, if you're not being very intentional about where you want to go, the things you want to bring there with you, and what it's going to be like when you get there, you're going to have a really hard time moving forward. And so, well, you don't need to sort of be rigid. You do have to be focused. And so I really want you to think about, how have you focused your activities this week? Are you doing the same thing this week so that it builds on what you did last week? Or did you just completely change course? Because if you think about it and you just changed course on a whim, on an impulse, or because of something you read, or some kind of fantastic video you watched, you might be doing yourself a disservice. So if you're going to test with intention. If you're going to change your approach, don't think, well, we're just going to try this and see what happens. You need to say, we're going to try this because I want that to happen. Because if you don't have the purpose and intentionality of getting to a particular place and moving forward in a particular way, you're going to be pulled in all sorts of directions, and you're actually not going to make any progress. And it's hard because oftentimes as small business owners, you feel buffeted about by things that you don't really have control over. The economy, the competition, the news cycle. Like, there's all this stuff that's potentially in your way. There's all this stuff that makes you feel like you've got to go grab the first thing you see or the first thing you put your hands on. And that's not how you build something. So sometimes you may have to go grab that thing that's right in front of you. But you need to be aware if you are grabbing it. So for instance, if there's a customer who's not right in your wheelhouse, but you land that business anyways because you need the money, well, great. As long as you're aware of that and know that you can't let that distraction, that customer who's not in your wheelhouse, pull you away from the intentionality, the intention that you have to aggregate a great group of clients so that you can service them extraordinarily well. Because if you just grab whatever client shows up, well, guess what? You end up with a bunch of clients that may or may not be right for you. But if you have the foresight to understand this is what I want to accomplish, it's really simple to make decisions. Does this action get me closer or further away to my goal? Does this client get me closer or further away from my goal? Does this hire get me closer or further away from my goal? Does this tactic, does this plan, does this thing I'm about to say? And I really want you to think about what has happened last week. Were you intentional? Did you purposefully move your business ahead through congruent actions? Or did you just do stuff and think, now I'm here? Because your team, your customers, your process, you will all be sharper and more focused and more aligned if you can say, this thing, this customer, this process, this plan, this ad, this action, this attitude are all headed towards the place that I want to be. So if you look at what you do in that context, it's really pretty simple. It's kind of a binary answer. Did that thing I just did, was that forward progress to where I want to be, or was it a step back? And these are the kinds of personal decision-making inventories you have to go through on a regular basis in order to make sure that you are not being pushed around by the circumstances of your business. Because without your intentionality, your business is completely amorphous. And it and you will become part of someone else's plan. And I know that you didn't start a business to be part of someone else's plan. Thanks for joining Focus Friday. Talk to you soon.